YAHAWAH, Hashem, Al-Shad, Hashem, Kakadosh. Start out by saying salutations to all the Akim, the Akwav that are listening, and I'd like to say my deepest, the most admiration and respect to the apostles that have been diligently bringing out the truth in the word for decades and decades. And now that we're in the throes of the transitional end of prophecies through YAHAWAH Shem Yahushai, it's real important that we stay steadfast, Shalaki, and abide in the faith and the truth, and make sure that we bring out what YAHAWAH Shem Yahushai expects us to bring out in terms of, the truth, the word, to feed the sheep, and primarily to get to and touch the elect, whatever is left that is not sealed for the most part. Because I'm truly believing that at this point in time, the elect, the very elect, for the most part, are sealed. All right, Shalom. This is your brother, Obadiah, Yahweh Canaan. And Most High brought a lesson to me today that I think is pretty unique, and it was quite spectacular in terms of what I'm getting in terms of being able to understand what all is actually going on. I've been listening to a lot of the Akim, a lot of the brethren, and they've been bringing out a lot of very edifying lessons. Then, of course, you have some that are bringing lessons that are pretty much in line with everything that we always are used to hearing. And that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, because you're out doing the work, you're doing the work. And as long as you're doing the work for the Most High, for YAHWAH Shem Yahushai, that's what's important. You got to get that work out there. I've been noticing lately that we may or may not have a real good grasp of who we are as Hebrew Israelites, in terms of how I would say knowing what lot you come from, what your role is in that lot, what you're supposed to be doing, what you're not supposed to be doing. And the Most High brought to my spirit a situation where he is saying to me, everybody has a role in the body of Hamashiach. And the role that you have has to be in order, and the order that you have has to do with work. You have a specific work that you would be doing. If we go and think about when Yahushua Hamashiach is sent back, and he comes and takes us back to the land where we'll be. Of course, the new covenant and everything that's going on at that time is going to all be new. Everything will be fresh, and it will be brought back to the way that it was before the fall. I would imagine from my study and what I've been understanding, that you're going to either graduate to a level from your work and your faith and your diligence here to go back to your lot and do what you need to do. But it's come to my attention that I don't know if the brethren really know much about what they would do if they're in their lot, or the history of their tribe in terms of what activities and performance and things that will be contributing to the total nation, the nation of Israel in complete, including all of the 12 tribes. And then, of course, in that land, it shows you the breakdown of the location where the tribes were. And not to say that there weren't tribes that were spread out all over the world in terms of the land that will probably be incorporated once the new covenant is put in place. It's something to think about, and it's certainly something to look at, as far as to look forward to, as far as the salvation of Israel, because all Israel will be saved. And so, I'm going on somewhat of a journey here with the Most High. I did something similar, which was the lives of the prophets, brought down through this prophetic timeline that we're dealing with. And that was a good lesson and a good inspiration the Most High brought through me to bring that out. Me as an active observer from the Hebrew Israelite perspective and platform. Many of us, like I said, have various different positions that we operate under when we're in the truth. Some of us are higher level prophets in terms of apostles, like the apostles of Great Millstone. You got your higher level prophets there. Then you have prophets and apostles of a lesser level, and some of them that are on point and some that are not on point in terms of the accuracy of the knowledge that they have been imparted. Moreover, our brothers are out trying. If the Most High puts a spirit on them where their information is skewed and it's not operating in an efficient capacity to the point where they're bringing out the accuracy of things that are happening right now, that's important. At this point in time, if anyone that's out teaching is not teaching some in-depth portions of prophecy, then that's very problematic when it comes to bringing forth the truth in its essence and its fulfillment in terms of the accuracy that's out there. That's a problem. Of course, there is books, information, and all types of information that the Most High uses in his way of bringing his prophecies forward. His prophecies touch everything that he has created. Let me say that again. The Most High, YAHAWAH, the Most High, his prophecies touch everything that he's created. That includes everything that he's created in the physical as in the spiritual, here as well. And that has to sink in a lot. I listen, and one of the brethren I listen to quite a bit is the elder YAHAWAH out of the GMS camp in Dallas. He has a maturity level that I can really appreciate and can feel akin to in terms of the way lessons come across. Elder YAHAWAH brings out truth, and the truth he brings out, that he marries it with absolute scriptural-based knowledge and edification, is at a mature level where you look forward to hearing his lessons, because his lessons aren't mundane. They aren't what I call repetitious. They bring out new innovation in understanding when it comes to deeper meanings of the word and the word of truth that YAHAWAH has blessed him with through the Ruach HaKodesh. That's very, very wonderful and effective, and barakatah to you, brother, for your blessing in the way you bring that out. We all pray that we can bring out lessons in an edifying and mature fashion. Spiritual maturity is very rare, even in this awakening, in this truth that we operate in. So just wanted to share that tidbit. And not to digress, but get back on point. Most people, we should know Yahweh's in control. He's in control. And we're going to break our scriptures and bring it to that effect, because that's what we need to do. Just like off the top of my head, I can think about Romans 8:28, where he says, and we know that for those who love Yahweh, who love our Father, all things work together for good, right? His good, for those who are called according to his purpose. Now that's a very key factor, being called for his purpose. And that's what's kind of kicking off this lesson today. The title of the lesson that the Most High gave me today is, it's centered around the miracle of Yahweh's deliverance is wrapped in mercy. The miracle of Yahweh's deliverance is wrapped in mercy. You think about it at times. People pass away. The Most High takes someone back to the spirit world. And to a degree, a major degree, that's a blessing. That's a deliverance and a blessing of mercy. Why? Because we got a foot inside the door of Jacob's trouble, dragging the next foot in right behind it. And I'm gonna tell you, the carnality of reality is kicking much ass when it comes to how Esau's coming down on Jake and then on the 2/3, and then of course on his own people. So the the miracle hand of Yahweh in his deliverance, and how he just wraps us in that mercy as we go through Jacob's trouble, and as Jacob's troubles continually opened and brought to fruition, is so important. His deliverance is wrapped in his mercy. And if you leave here before everything kicks off and the missiles start rolling in this direction, that you got to look at that as a blessing. We praying, and we been trying to pray, and we're praising and we're worshiping the Most High, that we could be the hope, that we can be the hopeful elect, that we earn the opportunity to get a chariot ride and get out of here and see some of that judgment come down. Yes, we want to see it. We don't want to be down here when it hits, but we do want to see it. But his deliverance is the miracle wrapped in his mercy. And that's the title of this lesson today. But before we get deep into it, and we will, I just want to finish, this bit of what I call the observant commentary. Being an observer for the Most High YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua in this truth, me, deemed an observer, an active observer, because I do lessons, I'm out teaching, I'm trying to do what I can do to get out on highways and byways when I ain't working, doing what I'm doing. It's important that you fulfill your role, and fulfilling your role is important in terms of knowing where you stand in your tribe. Now, we all say we can try to kind of figure out where we are, but a lot of times what we do is we are following, in which we should, the head tribe, which is Judah, because Judah got to wake up first. That head tribe that Yahushua came through, King David, and a multitude of others. We have to go by the rules and the order. Everything has to be done decently and in order. So, that's important to follow the head tribe to come up and wake up, and then the rest of the tribes follow. But do you know, as an Israelite awake in this truth, what tribe you really belong to? Do you know anything about the tribe that you belong to, or that you claim or have spiritual affiliation with? Do you really understand the tribe that you're born? This is related to the Akim as well as the YAHAWAH. Okay, I'm not just only speaking to the brethren. I am primarily for the elect to know this, because when you're out in the highway and byways, you are representing. And see, the thing is that you want to also completely continue to understand is, if you say you represent a specific tribe, what is it that you were doing, or what you should be doing to contribute to the nation, and to the elect during this time through your tribe? Yes, definitely need to be following the lead when watching what Judah's doing. Our highways, byways, teaching, preaching, bringing it out, edifying, doing what you do to feed the sheep. Absolutely. We don't talk much about most of the other tribes because, of course, we're really excited about the lion's whelp and how he's coming up and waking up and coming back out. And that's important in terms of the tribe of Judah has to come out, and then we all can get lined up and do what we need to do. But, like myself being from the tribe of Reuben, that's important to know about the tribe I'm from, know about the tribe my lineage and family's from, traced back through my father's line, father's line and father's line. And then of course name Seminole Indians, which we're not savages, but we are interested in kicking ass, which we did a very good job of. And when I do a lesson in the beginning, as I'm going to do now, and I'm going to break out a little bit on the tribe of Judah, because they're the king tribe and they need to come out first, so I'm going to bring that out first. Just a little bit, just a little taste for you before we break into, the lesson I'm doing on, his deliverance is, the miracle wrapped in his mercy. But I just want to kind of touch on that, because it's a teaching moment, and it's an edification moment in terms of things that maybe some people don't know. And a lot of times you get a lot of different lessons about the news and various other topics that are out and going through prophecy and through scripture. But sometimes it's good to learn things. Like I've always been a proponent to say we should teach the sheep how to do the law. We should teach the sheep how to keep the high holy days. We should teach the sheep the things that's going to make them strong. We don't always want to scare the sheep to death. We don't want to scare the shit out of the sheep. Scare the shit out of the sheep, shilaki, out of the sheep all the time. Because if they're young as lambs, and then they grow into becoming sheep, and then they're getting stronger through the word and watching and listening and learning. But at the same time, they're right in the midst of Jacob's trouble. This is a very hard meal to digest during the time of Jacob's trouble if your faith isn't there where it needs to be and being strong enough. That's why I was saying earlier, Elder YAHAWAH, he was bringing out some nuggets and some oh man, he was bringing out some fire in terms of some straight fire, in terms of some things to edify and help build up your your skin, make that righteous armor you wearing thick enough to withstand them fiery darts, that's coming from Satan and Esau, Edom, and what have you. So it's important to feed the right meal at the right level of the right sheep of the fold that you're dealing with, because at that point in time, now you're breaking out and you're bringing out what is necessary for nutrition to become fortified to fight and to be strong enough to keep the faith and move forward. So, what is your role in your camp? What is your role if you even ain't in the camp, but you're being led by the Spirit and Ruach HaKodesh to do what's due in your particular tribe? What is your role? What are you supposed to be doing? We're going to break it down and we're going to get into it a little bit and learn about that. And I want to start out, as I said, I want to start out with the tribe of Judah. And the reason why I say that is because I took a lot of good notes. Notes and stuff. And I got my little notepad with all my stuff here. When you do your homework, you're going to do your homework, right? You get your homework straight. So let's talk a little bit about the tribe of Judah. Maybe those of you who've been in the truth long enough know, and you know a lot of this information, so this is not necessarily new to you. So, some of this will be interesting to also bring out. So I'm going to break out a little bit, and then we're going to get into some scripture and into the lesson, okay? We 16 minutes in. I'm going to see if I can wrap this up pretty quick. And then I got a little video of one of the brothers that's doing a little bit more on Judah, which will be helpful as well. And I'll show you some of that. Okay, Judah, meaning, the name. The meaning of Judah, and I know one of the meanings I got was praise. The meaning was praise. Okay, the symbol, of course, is a lion. Okay, the color of their stone was the carnelian or the ruby red, right? Okay, we're gonna break down some other stuff. What line did Judah fall into in terms of the birth line? Where was he? Family. He was a fourth son of Jacob, born to Leah. Okay, that's important to know that, right? A scripture verse, right? Then one of the elders said to me, "Do not weep. See, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has triumphed." Revelation 5:5. Just want to bring that out. Okay, during the time when we were doing my research and looking at the Census Bureau and what happened and where Judah was in terms of how many, I found out it was like the size, the first census that they took was 74,600. The second census was 76,500. And it's the largest of the tribes. Clearly, we can see that here as well anyway, right? The location was very, very large. The atonement of land included Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Hebron, and Gaza. Now, Jacob's blessing was important to know about what Judah got because he's the daddy, right? Okay, so let's bring it out. He says, "You are a lion's cub, Judah. You return from the prey, my son, like a lion. He crouches and lies down like a lioness who dares to rouse him." Remember, this is part of the scripture we're going to pull from Genesis, right? "The scepter will not part from Judah, nor from the ruler's staff from between his feet, until he to whom Shiloh it belongs shall come. Shiloh shall come, and the obedience of the nations shall be his." Genesis 49:9-10, right? Moses' blessing for Judah. He says, "Hear, Lord, the cry of Judah. Bring him to his people. With his own hands, he defends his cause. Oh, be his help against his foes." Deuteronomy 33:7, right? Okay. Notable. What's notable about Judah? Judah convinced his brothers to sell Joseph to the slave traders for profit instead of killing him. That was Genesis 37. And that was important because that was ordained by YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua in order for the salvation to be brought forth through to the Israelites at that time that needed Joseph working in Egypt because he was working for Potiphar, and he was very important. Okay, later Judah unknowingly had relations with his daughter-in-law Tamar. When it was revealed, he confessed his wrongdoing. That was Genesis 38. Okay, the tribe of Judah led other tribes on their march towards the promised land. The tribe camped on the east side of the tabernacle, the only side with an entrance. That's Numbers 21. Okay, and of course, the leaders like Caleb, David, and Zerubbabel were from the tribe of Judah, as were prophets like Amos, Micah, Isaiah, and Zephaniah, just to name a few. Okay, YAHAWAH, of course, the line of the tribe of Judah, and the genealogy in the Gospel of Matthew shows how YAHAWAH HaMashiach was a descendant of Judah through the royal lineage of King David. Okay, that's in Matthew chapter 1. And you can also see Psalms 89:3, as well as Isaiah 9:6 and Hebrews 7:14. YAHAWAH HaMashiach was born in Bethlehem, as Micah the prophet prophesied. But you, Bethlehem Ephratah, though you are small, the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be a ruler over Israel. Micah 5:2. I just wanted to kind of pop a little bit of that in there, because just to know a little bit about who you are and what Judah is about in terms of their line. And it's important to know that, because if you are from the tribe of Judah, you represent that tribe, you need to know what you're supposed to do to fall in your lot. You see what I'm saying? That's important. What do you do to fall in your lot? What is your obligation and what you should be doing now? And primarily a lot of the brethren are doing this, but some of the younger sheep, younger lambs and sheep who need to know this, is a good foundation to start to get information like that. What I wanted to do is also bring out one of the brothers that did a little lesson on that. And he did a good lesson. And I'm gonna show you this right here so you can check it out. Okay.
Shalom, shalom, Israel, your brother Shema YAHAWAH back here with another video. First and foremost, I'm gonna give a call.
Okay.
Judah. It says, after the civil rights movement, the Black Power movement wasn't the same, and we all know this, right? We weren't as militant or bold or opposing the white man's system like we were. Why is this, right? Instead, we were allowed to integrate, and through that, we became docile. And
sorry,
Esau is the so-called white man.
I kind of went a little further than I got a little further up on this. Let me pull back a little bit so you can get this right. Shalom. Shalom.
Right?
What am I doing? Shalaki. You know how it is. You working with technology, you got to get it right, right?
Shalom, shalom.
Here we go.
Shema YAHAWAH back here with another video. First and foremost, I'm going to give a call, halal, YAHAWAH Bashim Yahushai. That is all praise to the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Yahushai, right? And today, the video that we're going to be going into is breaking down who the tribe of Judah is today. Because I did a couple of videos on how the Northern Kingdom are Hispanics, Native Americans, and how the Southern Kingdom are the Negroes, right? But now, I'm finna go deeper into who the Israelites are, by showing you guys, according to Bible prophecy, right?
Right.
Which tribe is which today, right? So right now we're going to be dealing with the tribe of Judah, the first tribe that we're going to be dealing with. And we're going to do a series on this, right? Where every tribe, with Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, right? All the tribes, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, okay? So we finna do all the tribes. Right now we finna do Judah, and we're gonna prove to you through Bible prophecy which people are this tribe today, okay? So we're finna get into it, man. And these videos is gonna be a lot shorter than those ones. Then it's not gonna be like 30 minutes. At least I hope not. Right? It might be. That's besides the point, right? So Judah, American blacks, that's who we saying Judah is, right? And we're going to prove it with these prophecies, right? So Genesis 49 is a chapter in the Bible where it gives in details and prophesies the things that would happen to these tribes in the last days and the things that would apply to these tribes in the last days, right? And this is the prophecy or the blessing that Judah got, right? It says Judah, right? Genesis 49:8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Now that's just dealing with Judah being kings and being ruled is that thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies, meaning we're going to rule over our enemies, right? Dealing with us through YAHAWAH Mashiach, we're going to rule over our enemies in the kingdom of heaven. That's what is going to happen, man. Okay? But that was a brief breakdown on that one, but let's focus on the part where it says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise, right? Next slide. It says, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise, right? So it says the tribe of Judah, right, are the trendsetters of Israel, if you want to call it that, okay? All the other tribes are influenced by them, look up to them, and essentially try to be like them, right? So everything Judah does, Judah makes things popular. Judah is looked up to. Judah is the one that everybody knows about. You see what I'm saying, right? This tribe typically has more / the most famous people within it. So out of all the tribes of the famous people, all types of famous people in every tribe, Judah has the most famous people. Not in like, we can say quantity as well, but I'm not even thinking of it in that aspect. Not quantity, but we're dealing with how much they're known. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody from the tribe of Simeon versus the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah is going to have a more famous person, right? You know, with that, examples of the sports, music, and entertainment industry, right? Sports, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, arguably the top 3, right? Basketball players of all time, and they're all from the tribe of Judah. You see? Right? On the right, we have Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Jerry Rice, right? Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson are top 3 NFL players right now from the tribe of Judah. All young quarterbacks are looking up to these 2 dudes right here, right? Jerry Rice, the greatest football player of all time, in my opinion, right? And in a lot of other people's opinion as well. He's also from the tribe of Judah. As you can see on the far left in the little small figure right there, that's Serena Williams, the best tennis player of all time, right? And then we got in the middle the top 3 boxing guys, right? Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather. You see that? Top 3, all from the tribe of Judah, right? All American blacks, all so-called African Americans, man. Biblical nationality, Israelites from the tribe of Judah. These are the guys that are looked up to. When people shoot a ball, what do they say? Kobe, right? People always aspire to be like Michael Jordan. You see that? Be like Mike.
LeBron James, right?
You see Floyd Mayweather, 50-0. Everybody looks up to him. I want to be as good as Floyd or as good as Muhammad Ali. I want to have the power of Mike Tyson. The finesse is Muhammad Ali, and the defense is Floyd Mayweather. You see that? People look up to them, and they're all from the tribe of Judah. It's within their spirit that they're going to be good at almost everything. Every tribe in Israel, don't get it twisted, every tribe in Israel is really good at everything. We're the best at everything. Everybody wants to be like Israel. That's the whole thing. But Judah is, within Israel, Judah is the top. It's the pinnacle, right? Okay, music industry. You look at that. You got Drake, Lil Baby. Now, NBA Young Man, Personally, I know people who try to be like this dude, Youngboy. But I'm dead serious.
Slipping
like they try
and
to
sliding,
talk like him, walk like him, act like him. People just trying to be him.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Judah right there. Everybody wants to be like Judah. You see that? You got Lil Durk, King Von. I've seen white people try to be like King Von now on TikTok and all type of stuff, right? Tupac and Michael Jackson, all these are top guys in the music industry. Some of them today, Tupac and Michael Jackson back in the day, but they're still idolized today when they're, like put in a sense of they're put on a high standard when it comes to the music industry. Michael Jackson and Tupac, even though they're not here, their legacy still lives on. You see that? All from the tribe of Judah. Okay? Entertainment industry, right? You got Taraji P. Henson, right? Or Taraji P. Henson is one of those 2.
Yeah, Henson.
Samuel L. Jackson, Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson, and Tyler Perry. You see what I'm saying? All these people are top people in the entertainment industry. Okay, and the thing about The Rock is, the funny thing about The Rock is everybody says, oh, The Rock is Samoan. He even has the Samoan tattoos, if y'all can see. That's a Samoan tattoo. That's what all Samoans get. They all get that little pattern, that Samoan pattern, to indicate that they're Samoan. And The Rock is arguably the greatest Samoan to ever walk the planet Earth. He's the most known Samoan. Nobody knows any other person that's Samoan. And the crazy thing about this is, the best Samoan, the greatest Samoans to ever walk the earth is an Israelite. You see that? From the tribe of Judah. See, even Samoans aren't even, you see what I'm saying? I mean, he gives them a name, but he's not even a Samoan for real. His dad is a so-called black man. His mom is Samoan. All right? But I saw praise to the Most High. All right? So, next verse, Genesis 49:9, it says, Judah is a lion's whelp, right? From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Okay, so it says Judah is a lion's whelp, okay? So a lion's whelp is equal to a young lion. Lions, when they are young, are at their strongest. So it's comparing Judah, the tribe of Judah, to a young lion, right? Okay, meaning bold, fierce, strong, backs down to nobody, valiant, like Proverbs 30:30 says, right? I probably should have put it in this slideshow, but that's all right. Proverbs 30:30 says, the lion is the boldest and strongest amongst all creatures, and it backs down to nobody, right? That's the American blacks we're going to show you, right? So look at this. It says, Judah being a lion's whelp is in reference to the militant pro-black groups during the 60s and 70s, right? They were all about black power and did not step down to nobody. They were bold and military-like brothers fighting against the oppressive system of the United States. Examples of that, the Black Panthers and the Nation of Islam under Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X. Those brothers were fierce, man. They were bold. They were militant, man. Like a lion. They didn't back down to nobody. They were fighting the power back then, man. That's Judah being a lion's whelp. That happened during the 60s, during the 70s, right? Yeah, a little bit too, in the 50s as well, right? But right here it says these are the two most popular groups that were known to be bold and fearless. Some men in the group even died on their principles, man. These men stood on their principles, bold as lions until death. See that? Right? As you can see, Huey P. Newton on the left and Malcolm X on the right were two major leaders during the Civil Rights era. These men were bold as lions and feared nothing. These two died standing up for their cause, right? Bold as a lion. You see that? These men both died standing on their principles, man. You see that? Huey P. Newton, if you guys watch the show The Boondocks, right? Huey from The Boondocks, he was based off of Huey P. Newton. Okay? Right? He's one of my favorite TV characters, Huey from The Boondocks. Alright, but it says he stooped down. So it says he was a lion's whelp. He was a young lion, strong, right? But he stooped down. He couched as a lion, as an old lion. So he stooped down, he came down, and he got old, right? Like an old lion, right? Who shall rouse him up? It says an old lion, right? Weak, faint. That's what it's indicative of. When a lion gets old, it's not as lively and not as strong and not as bold as it is when it's younger, in its younger stages, right? This is why it says this about the American blacks, Judah, the tribe of Judah. It says, after the civil rights movement, the black power movement wasn't the same, and we all know this, right? We weren't as militant or bold or opposing the white man's system like we were. Why is this, right? Instead, we were allowed to integrate, and through that, we became docile and more like Esau. Esau is the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, right? We became more like them, more docile, more effeminate. We became more losers and homosexuals and all type of stuff when we started getting into the white man's system. Because instead of fighting that system and that oppressive power, we started assimilating into their culture and their customs, and not even culture and customs, but assimilating into their American lifestyle and that American dream, right? We started wanting to be with and be like Esau instead of fighting against and trying to rise above.
Still
Esau.
doing that now, these
That
super coons and these raccoons.
That civil rights era, and when we lost it. You see that?
All right, well,
I just the white man watering down that fire.
All right. Shalom. I want to stop that because we got to get into the lesson. But I just wanted to bring out that part of the lesson because it's important. I feel it's important to know what your position is in terms of if you're going to be represented from the tribes, you should be representing the tribe effectively and representing the tribe in a way where you're providing the best you can for your organization. that you're part of in terms of the camp as well as your tribe, and knowing about your tribe and knowing who you are in your tribe is important in reference to that factor. We don't need to be in a position where we're unknowledgeable about our history as well as who we are in our history. Where we stand. That's important. Like the wacky tacky Christians will come up to you a lot of times and say, "Oh, you from this tribe or that tribe? Okay, well, tell me about it. How are you from this or that?" And instead of getting into an antagonistic conversation about it and going off on them, and trying to, instead of doing that and getting into a battle and debate, because we're not supposed to be debating them jokers anyway, because you can't debate YAHAWAH Shem YAHWAH. There's just no way. You defend the faith if they come and confront you, but other than that, you really don't need to be battling them. So, like I said, I think it's important that we know a little bit about who we are as a member of the tribe and then a member of the nation and the kingdom to come of that's going to be great and beyond what we could believe of Kwam Yashrala. Okay, the Prince of the Powers. Who are you? What part are you? What part do you play? What is your role? I just wanted to give you a little snippet of that, and I'm going to try to do a little bit of that when I break out each one of the lessons that the Most High gives me. And, when I do get a lesson, I'll try to introduce a tribe and a little bit about them, and, go to the brother's website, his YouTube page, and check him out. I'll make sure that I give you that information as well, so you know who he is, and therefore, you'll be able to follow up and see what you can learn about the tribe that you may belong to. All right, so let's break out and get into some scriptures here, and let's look at the lesson that I have on tap, which of course, as I said before, is the miracle of Yahawah's deliverance is wrapped in His mercy, and that's important to understand because we're going to be going through a lot right now when it comes to Jacob's trouble and the things that are stirring up. And He didn't give us a spirit of fear. He gave us a spirit of righteousness and the spirit to be bold like a lion, and as well as the other tribes. Even my tribe, we were fierce, man. Reubenites were fighting. We fought the so-called Edomites, the white man, and we didn't have that many of us, and we pushed back 2,000 of them. In terms of time, we had to fight before they overcame us and took over the land, as they did with my brothers Gad. But yeah, we went at it with them. We didn't lose a war with them. we lost. We didn't lose a major battle, let me say, but we ended up losing that war at the time. But we will be back. But anyway, let's get into the lesson. Okay, I want to break out some scriptures here first, and let's see where I want to go first. I'm going to go to. Let me get my Bible open here. Once I get my Bible nice and open, we can break it down, We'll go to it, get into it. All right. Okay, here we're getting close. Crack open the Bible and get into it. Get into it. Get involved. Shoot, man, I tell you, man. Being in the truth is not as easy as a lot of people think, man. We on fire for everything we do, but sometimes, man, I tell you, the fire gets real hot. It gets extremely hot. You'll be like, oh man, what in the world is going on, right? Okay, what do we want here? We want to go to, that's my Bible hub. I had a bunch of scriptures on point here. I gotta make sure I get right to them. Forgive me. Forgive me. You know how we do it. The first one I'm going to what? 1 Peter. I think that's what I want. Yeah, I do want 1 Peter. All right, let's see here. Let me get to it. Stay with me. Don't let me lose you now. Don't let me lose you. Boy. My study. Put my study up. All right. I'm at that point there. All right. Tell you what. let me just do it. I'll do it the way I like to do it, right? Get my sword out. That'll help out more. That'll work out probably even better, right? Than what the way I'm going about it. Trying to use my tablet here to pull up my scriptures real quick. I had a bunch of them set up, and I still got them set up. Just want to do it right. You know what I'm saying? Okay, all right. Get my sword out. There's my sword. It's always good to just go to the sword, brother. That's what I say. All right, that was I'm going to 1 Peter, right? Yep. All right. Shalaki on the slow down there a little bit. Just trying to use some of the technology, right? You know, when you don't got what you want right, you got to go right to it. All right. 1 Peter. I'm going to 1 Peter. Stay with me. Don't lose me, folks. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 3. All right. And it says, 1 verse 3. Blessed be YAHAWAH, the Father of our Lord YAHAWAH HaMashiach, which according to his abundant mercy hath begotten us again unto the lively hope by the resurrection of YAHAWAH HaMashiach from the dead. The reason why I brought that out was because, number one, the Most High clearly let us know that he's going to resurrect us from this horrible situation that we're dealing with right now in terms of how we're being trounced on by multitudes of nations as well as Esau, Edom leading the pack. So I wanted to get to that scripture and bring that out to start my topic off, okay? The next one I wanted to go to was Titus, okay? I want to go to Titus 3, verse 5, okay? So go with me to Titus 3, verse 5. All right, Titus chapter 3, and I'm at verse 5. All right, Shalai. And it says, not by works of righteousness which we have done, but according to his mercy he saved us by the washing of the regeneration and renewing of the Ruach HaKodesh. See, that also locks in the regeneration situation that I was talking to you about before, and saying that, you know, you're going to go to your lot. And when you go to your lot, when you come back, you want to be in a position to do what you're supposed to do, either earn a higher ranking spot or at least go back and do what's necessary to honor the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, the Most High's grace is beyond what we can imagine in terms of how he's operating with us, right? And one of the things I wanted to break out was the fact that the Most High is in control. I gave you Romans, Shalaki. I gave you Romans 8:28. Next, I want to go to Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. And it says here, if you're there, Isaiah 41:10, and it says, fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your power. I will strengthen you, and I will help you, and I will hold you with my righteous hand, with my righteous right hand, Shalaki. That's Isaiah 41:10. Okay, next, we want to go to Proverbs chapter 19, verse 21. And that reads, many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. I love that. Let me read that one again. That's Proverbs chapter 19:21. Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord Yahweh that will stand. I love that. That's sweet. That's very sweet. I've got another one in Proverbs. I'm going to go to 16, going to chapter 16, verse 9. The heart of man's plans, his Shalaki. The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. Okay, tell me that ain't right on point, right? The next one I wanted was Psalms, 25, verse 6. So go with me to Psalms 25, verse 6. All right? Bear with me, go with me. 25, verse 6. I'm going right through my sword here. Get to 25, verse 6. All right? If you're there, if you beat me there, that's all right. All right. How much less man that is a worm, and the son of man, which is a worm, right? That was Shalaki, that was Job. I went right past it. Shalaki, I'm sorry. See that when you go too fast, try to be all fast. All right, I'm sorry. Psalms 25, 6. And it reads, Shalaki, man. Remember, O Lord, thy tender mercies and thy loving kindness, for they have been ever of old. In other words, the Most High is remembering us. He is coming back with his son, and he is showing us now that the curses are coming off of us, and they're going on Esau, Edom, and the rest of the nations of the world. And that's what's up, because the Most High is showing us how much he does love us. All right, the next precept is going to come from Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 10:13. And it says here, 1 Corinthians 10:13, all right? No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. YAHAWAH is fruitful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability. But with the temptation, he will also provide the way of escape, that you may be able to endure it. That's extremely important, especially during this time of Jacob's trouble that's on us, on our back and coming on strong. You're going to have to go through stuff, but he ain't going to take you through nothing that you can't get through and that you can't endure. You know, you could pray for more faith. You're not getting no more grace, but you will get some more faith if you pray for it. And you utilize that to build up your faith and to move forward and get the task and the mission done that you subscribe to come here for. Okay? The next precept is coming from Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. Joshua 1:9, and it says, have I not commanded you? Question YAHAWAH, right? All right. Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened. Okay. And do not be dismayed, for YAHAWAH, the Lord, your power is with you wherever you go. Wherever you go. See, that's why, I mean, we talk about, and I know the apostles and the rest of the brothers talk about the pain and the sorrow and what's coming and the torment and the flood and Esau coming in like a flood. But he didn't give you the spirit of fear. He told you, you're going to have to deal with this. This is what we're going through. You're being refined through the fire. You're going to have to stand. You don't have to scare the shit out of the sheep all the time, but sometimes you just got to let them know we do have our mercy. The mercy is wrapped in his deliverance is in that mercy. His deliverance is wrapped in that mercy. That's that miracle that we need to understand. Okay. The next one I'm going to is Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you. See, YAHAWAH saying, right? Declares the Lord YAHAWAH. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. That's Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord YAHAWAH. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and hope. Matthew, going next to Matthew, roll on back to Matthew chapter 6, 34. Matthew chapter 6, verse 34. Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. In other words, the Most High letting you know, hey, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about if a sparrow drops from the air, the Most High is on point with it, and he knows exactly what's going on. He is covering all sides of everything. The flood that's coming in from Esau, that's his whipping stick. You know, he said that he uses him as a sword. He's going to take out the 2/3. He's going to do what he does to the heathen and Esau. But you know, look, you don't want to be wrapped up in thinking that he's going to come out and destroy everybody, because that's not his plan. The elect will be taken care of. He promised you. He cannot lie. Okay. The next one I'm going to is Ephesians chapter 1, verse 11. Okay. In him we have obtained an inheritance, having been predestined according to the purpose of him who works all things according to the counsel of his will. That means you don't have free will. It's according to the counsel of his will. And you got to be inside his will. Next, we're going to go to Psalms 27:1. Flip through it, go quickly, skin Psalms 27:1. Something from David, right? O David, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? See, we need to be building the Akim up. We need to build the brethren up in this way, because they need to know, the Most High got our back, our front, our side, our up, our down, our in between. He's got us covered. You just got to be able to stand on their faith. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not trying to tell you it's easy. It's going to be hard. It's supposed to be hard. But you still got to hang in there, because what did YAHAWAH do? He hung in there, and he said we have to do some things greater. He said he's going to send the Comforter so we can do things as great. Not where, we can't compare with the Mashiach, but hey, we're going to do some great things as well. We're going to have to hang in there. The supernatural miracles that are going to show our deliverance and bring our deliverance is wrapped in his mercy, and it is coming. I got to stay on point with that. I got to make sure you know. Okay. The next one I'm going to is what was that? What I did just this Psalms. Okay, 27. Matthew 19:26. But YAHAWAH looked at them and said, with man, this is impossible. But with power, with Yahweh, all things are possible. So that's what you got to rest on. You got to know all things are possible with the Most High, without a shadow of a doubt, right? Okay, Psalms 115 is what I want next. Okay, Psalms 115. All right. Shalaki. What did I do? Go back. Okay, Psalms 115, verse 3. Our power is in the heavens. He does all that he pleases. All that he pleases. That was Psalms 115. 3. All right, 115, verse 3. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 24. Isaiah 14, 24. The Lord of hosts has sworn, as I have planned, so shall it be. And as I have purposed, so shall it stand. Man, that's fire. Check it out. See, the Most High he's not playing, man. He says here, the Lord of hosts has sworn. When the Father swears, as I have planned, so shall it be. And as I have purposed, so shall it stand. Proverbs 21, verse 1. The king's heart is a stream of water in the hand of the Lord. He turns it whatever way he will, whatever he will. Okay? All right? Isaiah 45. These are my notes. 6 through 7. That people may know from the rising of the sun and from the west, and that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, Yahweh, and there is no other. I form the light. I create darkness. I make well-being, and I create calamity. Or he said, evil. It's what he's telling you. I am the Lord who does all these things. See, he's in control of everything, man. He's in control of absolutely everything. Psalms 94, 19. When the cares of my heart are many, your consolations cheer my soul. That's what we need, and we're getting it from the Most High. He's showing consolation. Don't worry about the stab and jab. Don't worry about this stuff coming down. Lean on his consolation. Okay? 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For Yahweh power gave us a spirit, not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. See, I said that earlier, 2 Timothy 1:7. For Yahweh gave us a spirit, not of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. You got to keep some self-control in all the stuff that's going down, right? Okay. Isaiah 45:7. I form the light. I create darkness. I make well, and I create calamity. I am the Lord who does all these things. I had to hit you with that again. Psalms 46:1. To the choir master of the sons of Korah, according to Almah, a song, power is our refuge, our strength, a very present help in trouble. Gotta lean on the Most High. Can't just fold up and give it up. All right, Philippians, the brothers break this out a lot. This is a good one here. Philippians 4, 6 through 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to Yahawah. And the peace of power of Yahawah, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your mind in Yahushua HaMashiach. That's fire. That's fire. John chapter 14, 27. Okay. Peace I leave you. My peace I give you. Not as the world gives do I give you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. Fire. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Psalms 22:8. For kingship belongs to the Lord, and he rules over the nations. No doubt. Job chapter 12, verse 10. In his hand is the life of every living thing and the breath of all mankind. Getting close to closing out here a little bit, a few more scriptures, a few more precepts. Proverbs 16:4. The Lord has made everything for its purpose, even the wicked for the day of evil. See, he even got Esau wrapped up where he needs him, right? I'm gonna make sure I do get Jude in because I want that too. I wanted to get something from Jude, so bear with me. We'll get it. I know it's right there. Okay. All right, Jude. I'll be wrapping it up with Jude, but let me just get a couple more scriptures here, and then I'll wrap it up with Jude. Okay. 1 Peter 5, 6, and 7, right? Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yahawah, so that at the proper time he may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. Humble is a very important factor. There's a lot of us, brothers in the truth, we get aggravated, we show aggravation because of what Judah's doing in terms of the 2/3. We get aggravated because of what Esau's doing and the way he's using his levels of deception, which is his blessing and his sword. And we get aggravated, but we got to try to stay humble through our aggravation to bring the truth out and to feed the sheep correctly so that they can grow and be strong. If you get too aggravated, then you start working into the pride and arrogance. Pride and arrogance creeps in, and then you really become a problem for the Most High, and he's not going to be able to use you more effectively. You got to stay humble so that he can continue to impart truth, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and blessings that can be brought forth through the truth. So you got to maintain some spiritual maturity and deal with being humble, because that's where it's at. Okay. All right. That was 1 Peter 5, 6, and 7. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yahawah, so that the proper time he may exalt you. See, he could use you, right? Casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. 1 John 4:18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. For fear has to do with punishment. Oh man, that's fire. And whoever fears has not been perfected in love by Yahawah. That's, hey, let me read that again. 1 John 4:18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. For fear has to do with punishment, and whoever fears has not been perfected in love. Man, that's fire. You gotta know that's fire, okay? Oh, how about that? Psalms 23:4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of Yahawah, the Lord, forever. Right? Okay. All right. I'm gonna use First Chronicles, and I'm gonna pop a couple more, and then I'm gonna close it out because we just had about that hour here. First Chronicles 29:11-12. First Chronicles 29:11-12. Yours, O Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the victory and the majesty. For all that is in the heavens and in the earth is yours. Yours is the kingdom, O Lord, Yahawah, and you are exalted as head above all. Both riches and honor come from you, and you rule over all. In your hand are power and might, and in your hand it is to make great and to give strength to all. Okay. That could be my closing one right there, because that sums it up, man. That really does. That brings it all to heart, right on down the line. I had several more precepts to roll with, but I don't think I'm gonna leave it with that one right there. If you can go back and read Psalms 56:3. When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. Psalms 55:22, Psalms 23:106. I had quite a few more to go with, but I'm gonna leave it there because I think that kind of brings home the point. And just to tell you, you just got to stand, man. I know you're hearing a lot of lessons and a lot of information that's shaking you up a little bit, but you got to stand firm, even though it's going to get rough. It's going to be a rough road, man. Hey, we all might get chased out of our homes. We all might lose loved ones, left and right and left, and young and old. This is what may happen. Most High going to take who He going to take, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you just pray and praise and hang in there, and just pray that in the winter and summer and whenever the season is, that the Most High is going to be there for you, and you'll get through whatever the calamity is. I hope the lesson was good and it came out in a fashion that brought things forward. I know I had a little bit to do in the beginning, just trying to organize some stuff. I wanted to use my tablet, but of course it wasn't going to work out as well as I wanted, so I had to go to my Bible, which is always the way to go. Go with the word, man. Go with the sword. Sometimes the technology don't always work out for you the way you want it. But I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Look forward, if Lord willing, He wants me to bring out something else, later on with another lesson, and maybe talk about another tribe, maybe my tribe. I don't know. We'll see. But nevertheless, I appreciate you listening out, and just hang in there. Kwam Yasharala, man. Hang in there. It's going to be fine. We're going to make it. And they're going to be very, very surprised at the way of our salvation. All right? Shalom.